We get a lawyer first.
Alrighty, everybody. Hi, I'm Mercedes, if you guys don't know. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about stress. First off, I just want to go around and have everybody say their name and give something that stresses them out, and I'm sure you all have one because we are students at MIT. And also, if somebody else also gets stressed out by whatever it is that somebody says, just know. So hi, I'm Mercedes. One thing that stresses me out is if I do something, like a mistake, and it affects somebody else. Alrighty.
Hi, I'm Joseph, and one thing that stresses me out is the thought of writing cover letters for job applications.
I'm Emma, and one thing that stresses me out is having an amount of work to do that just seems unreasonable.
Hi, I'm Amir, and one thing that stresses me out are midterms, actually.
Yeah.
I'm Andrew, and one thing that stresses me out is sitting through presentations while I'm recorded on video.
I'm Carlos, and one thing that stresses me out is classes that advertise themselves as giving you less work than they actually intend to. One step indeed.
Hi, I'm Marissa, and something that stresses me out is phone interviews.
Hi, I'm Julian. Something that stresses me out is our lab classes that take way too much time.
I'm in a mixed room, and one thing that stresses me out is talking with my parents sometimes.
Alrighty, now that we know each other a little bit, I'm going to start with a game. So, if everybody could set their things down and make a circle. Okay.
Is the circle the one with the 4 sides or the one with the 6 sides?
Circle with you? Without you.
3 sides.
Circle with you.
Without me.
The inside and outside.
One architect.
Alrighty, so everybody's going to take their right thumb, actually their left thumb, excuse me, and face it down. Now take your right hand and keep it open palmed and put it underneath the person's to your right thumb. So, yep. Basically, you can spread out a little bit more if that helps. We are going to play a game, and the first objective is to get your thumb away from the person on your right. And your second objective is to catch the thumb of the person. The opposite. Catch the person's thumb to your right and get your thumb away from the person on your left. When I say 3, you're going to try and accomplish this. Alrighty. Is everybody ready? Are we set?
No.
Yeah. No. 1, 2, 3! Okay, that was just practice.
Oh, wait, what? How hard can be?
You have to not move it until I say 3. Nobody can.
I mean,
beforehand.
how far away? It's okay, I'm.
So it's don't move your right hand.
Wait, what?
Don't move your right hand, just try to catch.
Oh.
If they get it away from you, they win. Okay?
How
We can move our left hand up.
Yes. Move your left hand up, grab with your right hand.
Wait, this is like an awkward grabbing.
Yeah.
Okay, if you are caught, be gracious, like they caught you, it's okay. But you don't want to lose. Because there's a sudden death round and you guys don't want to play that. Alrighty! Is everybody ready? In 1, 2, 3! Alright, if you were caught, please step into the center.
Is caught caught?
If they caught your thumb, move into the center.
What if they slipped out at the last second? Like they caught it with the
This is
like
normal.
Okay.
Okay.
It should be like a touch thing, but just an awkward grab.
A touch thing?
Like if you touch their stuff, otherwise it's like this is an impossible grab.
No, if you grab, that's You know, they were actually caught. You have to catch the
Extra
thumb.
points for breaking.
We're gonna play one more, and
I'm gonna go for it.
I only need one more person in sudden death, so if multiple people are caught, we're gonna play rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
But Andrew put the thumb down. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Wait.
Okay, forgot. So, were 2 people caught? Okay,
Yeah.
we only have 3. Okay. Second game. Everybody who is in the outside has survived. You are our slight victors. And if you are in the center, you have to play sudden death. Joseph, you can go if you need to. Alrighty, I need 3 volunteers of the survivors.
Nose goes.
Oh, I
What
did it earlier.
Nose goes.
Okay.
I pick you 3.
But that's a good call.
You won't be punished for volunteering. I appreciate any help I can get. Alrighty. And I have 3 people in the center.
I think that's a lot of the office.
Ace is high. 6 is low. Jack is middle. There are 3 cards, and each person that is helping me is going to hold on to them and fan them out in front of you.
Like showing them or not showing?
Not showing.
So only you
The
can
3
see
people in sudden death are going to pick a card. So step up to your person. Just wait. You're going to pick what I say. Now, when you do pick, you can't look at it until I say. And we are going to give drum roll. So, you can pick now. Don't look at it. 3, 2, 1. Whoever has the lowest card has lost. Just high.
Jack.
You 2 need to pick again.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. And luck.
Ace.
6.
Julian, you've lost.
Damn.
Your consequence is probably just feeling the most stress out of all of us. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for participating. I'm breathing heavy.
Drum roll really intense.
Okay, can anyone tell me some of the things they felt during the first game when you were trying to get your thumb away and catch the other person's thumb?
I kept on looking like left and right. I was like, do I focus on getting away or do I focus on catching? Like, where do I go? I can't make a decision. I look at one, then look at the other.
Uh-huh.
Just like, I couldn't choose which one to pick.
Did that make you feel like nervous or anxious or confused or like
It was
did
like,
make
I
it
can't
harder?
make a decision. I need to make a decision. I can't make a decision. Just vacillating back and forth between those 2.
And it almost makes it hard to do anything,
Yeah,
right?
it's like, oh.
Okay. Emma, do you have?
Yeah, I mean, it was like a low stress environment, but even within that environment, I was like, like, what do I do with my hands?
Okay. And during the second one, when you guys were doing sudden death.
I guess I wasn't sure what card to pick. I was really hoping that I wouldn't pick the wrong one. The lower one.
Mm-hmm. Was there any, I don't know, like, difficult, I don't know, maybe a heart rate going up, or did you guys feel like excitement or more attentive? Like, were you trying to pay attention more to things, or, yeah, wrong? I see nods. Okay.
Yeah, it was like.
The drum roll?
Yeah.
Did it put a little pressure on it?
It made a difference. Like, if I had time to just like be there and think, like, all right, I choose left card or right card. But I was like, I felt like there was some sort of time pressure because it was a drum roll. I was like, is the drum roll gonna end? Like, do I choose a card now? Like, what do I do?
Okay. So my main points are, what is stress? So it's our body's response to stressors. And in this game, I gave you 2 out of the 3 categories, a threat and a challenge. Your threat was somebody grabbing your thumb, or the time limit. Something's gonna happen if I don't pick the right card. And the challenge was, get your thumb, or to catch the person's thumb. That's, something, maybe there's not gonna be really bad consequences if you don't do it, but you're still like really attentive and something you're paying attention to. Maybe you have a little bit higher heart rate because, you want to succeed. So our 3 main types of stressors are threats, challenges, and scares. I could have had somebody jump out behind you as well as we're trying to accomplish either one of these games. And I could have gotten you to jump, and even after scared, you're like, oh, holy man, you almost breathe a little heavier and your body just naturally reacts. So what's going on when our body does this? So I am having a little bit of all of these bodily responses. So when our body perceives a stressor in the brain, it sends a signal to a gland on the top of our kidneys right here that releases cortisol, which is our primary stress hormone. Cortisol is released into the blood that circulates throughout, and it's able to act on different organs. It acts on our heart, on our lungs, on our blood vessels, and on our brain. This raises heart rate, it raises blood pressure, increases respiration or breathing, and increases attentiveness. Now, one of the effects of perceiving, you recognize that these things are happening to us. And if we think negatively about them or focus too much attention on them, it can cause anxiety. You breathe heavier, even yet, and it's like this compounding effect. What anxiety can do is that it actually can decrease our ability to learn and might increase some of these challenges, the stressors that we're having, and therefore, again, compound on the effect. Another part of our stress response when we experience one of the 3 stressors I talked about is the release of a secondary hormone called oxytocin. You might have heard of this hormone as being the love hormone. When you give hugs, you release this hormone. It deepens connections between people. It's also one of the hormones that's released when a mother gives birth to create that connection between the child and the mother. But maybe what you didn't know is oxytocin is completely necessary for our stress response. Cortisol is what I said was our primary stress hormone. It, does all of these things that excite our body and gets it out of its natural resting state. And that can be bad for our heart, for our blood vessels, high blood pressure, all of these things. It can also, at high concentrations, degenerate some of the cells in our brain, in our hippocampus, which is the center for learning and memory. So if you guys remember what I said, high stress levels can affect learning. Well, it's more than just temporary. It can actually damage the cells responsible for learning. So oxytocin is actually like our protection against the negative effects of cortisol. It can help our heart heal the cells. It can actually help with the healing process of the cells after really high blood pressure that might have damaged them. It also helps keep blood vessels open. So that reduces blood pressure even when our heart rate's up. Third thing it will do is it's a natural anti-inflammatory. So let me tell you a little bit about a story of baboons. So in Kenya, one year there was a really high population of baboons, and so what the natives decided to do was trap the baboons so it wouldn't be so dangerous to go out, right? Now, naturally out in nature, the alpha baboon will go about his business, but the inferior male baboons will avoid the alpha male and keep their distance. When they're trapped in a cage, they couldn't do this. And so that threat was very, very high. They're held at these high stress levels, and what happened was they actually died. After the autopsy, they figured out that they had stomach ulcers, so sores in the stomach lining. They had inflammation of the colon, which is our large intestine, and they also had high degeneration of cells in the hippocampus. For learning, researchers concluded that they died from stress. So, high cortisol levels can be bad, and we want to keep them low. We want to prevent against the negative effects. So why in the world do we even have cortisol if it can be so bad for us? Do you guys have any ideas?
We need to respond to stressors. Like, that's a more immediate threat usually to our safety, or at least in the past it was.
Yeah. So our fight or flight response. When we have immediate stressors that threaten our lives, we need something to get our body going, right? Awesome. But there's a little side effect. When we get our body so far from resting state so quickly, it can have negative effects on our body. So that's where oxytocin comes in to protect our cardiovascular system. Another interesting thing that oxytocin does is it induces a craving for physical contact from other people. So just like when we hug people, we release oxytocin, it's a positive feedback. It makes us feel better. It helps fight stress. So when we're stressed, you want to seek something that's going to make you feel better. So it's almost like a natural way to push you to seek support. So going along with that, I want to ask you guys, what are some things that you do to relax and to cope? So seeking support could be one of them during a particularly stressful week at MIT.
Well, if I have time, I like to go for walks. But
awesome.
If there's just so much work, then it's hard to like prioritize that.
I definitely feel you. I force exercise into my schedule via FIED. Get credit for it. Anything else? Or do you just stay stressed the whole time? You don't
Play video games.
Okay.
Yeah, just like as a way to like just step aside from like all the things that are stressing me out. Just like focus on something else for like a couple hours, and then come back feeling a bit more refreshed and just like a bit more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Take naps.
Good. So basically, I hear a lot of things to just get ourselves to stop thinking about whatever's stressing us out. And I think where that comes from is if you have a stressor, a challenge, a threat, or a scare, something that frightens you, and you're constantly worrying about it, but maybe you're not able to completely deal with it all at once, then because we're not able to overcome it, all of this energy kind of just builds up. If we don't use the energy, it has negative effects. So what I'd like to say is, number one, if you are having a stress response, don't think of it as a bad thing. That induces anxiety, and it can prevent learning. And maybe sometimes what's causing your stress is a challenge to learn something that's difficult. Think of it more as your body's response to prepare you to overcome and deal with that challenge. So if we think of this positively, there's actually some research that's gone into this. And one of the biological effects is your blood vessels stay open more. You're more relaxed. You're more willing to accept what's going on. And then your blood pressure stays down, and some of the negative effects, such as headaches that are caused by high blood pressure, are prevented. Insomnia is another one from chronic stress, which is just constant, like little stressors that are going on in your life. And so if we think of our body's reaction as something that's going to help us, it helps to improve our confidence on what's going on. Our body's trying to help us succeed, not trying to bring us down and, you know, stop us from working. And it can reduce some of those anxiety feelings that we get from all of that. Alrighty, my last topic that I'd like to talk to you guys about is food. Everyone likes food, right? So you've probably heard of a couple foods that can reduce stress. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit about why they do that, now that you know what stress is and how it impacts on the body. So the first one is just protein. When we eat like chicken, steak, those kind of things, what it does is it's a source to produce serotonin, which is our happy hormone, and has been associated with improving mood. When you have a low serotonin level, you might feel sad, not have a lot of energy. Some people get depression, and just by increasing serotonin levels, you can fight that. So, just naturally in your everyday lives, you know, eat some protein. Unless you're a vegetarian, find a different source. Another source of serotonin is, I think, we have protein, but we can also eat something else that I kind of forgot, and hopefully I'll come back to. Moving on to berries, which are antioxidants, and that helps your body as well. Another thing that will help you is if you eat peanuts or pistachios, just the rhythmic motion of peeling the shells off of the nuts helps. It kind of distracts from whatever is stressing you out. It also induces some of the pathways in our body that slow down the processes compared to cortisol, which is going to get you to want to run, jump, and like fight fast and whatever you need to do to overcome your challenge. The final one that I'd like to talk to you about is probably your favorite that you've heard about, chocolate. I'm going to advise particularly dark chocolate. Now, what dark chocolate does is it actually reduces cortisol levels in your blood. So it's going to fight against that high respiration, high heart rate, high attentiveness, and just relax you in that way. The one I forgot earlier is carbohydrates. How could anybody forget carbs? Carbs are also a good source for serotonin, our happy hormone. And I would also advise complex carbs, such as multigrain breads or oatmeal, because anything that might cause weight gain is also like a source of stress, so we don't want to add on to it. But at that note, I'd like to thank all of you guys for coming and enjoying pizza and good company and some games that might have stressed you out, but hopefully got you active a little bit. And have a great weekend.